The full capacity for 20 randomly selected cars are given below. So here I have 20 cars with different capacities, and I don't see 20 numbers here, but I see 5 classes with frequency for every class. So if you add the frequency, you'll get the total data size, because remember, n is a data size. N, in fact, equal to the sum of the frequency in case of grouped data. So this is equal to 20 here, and now I need to get the average, calculate the mean. So the mean is average. So the average of these values, what are the values? The values are here. These are the values that are recorded. The x does not, the original values of the variable x, which is the capacity, does not exist. The grouping exists, and the grouping means I have 3 values with capacity from 10 to 12. I have 4 values from 13 to 15. I don't know exactly what are the 4 values. Maybe some 13, some 14, some 15. I don't know. So I don't have exactly the original data. So that's why when you calculate the mean for this data, it will not be exact mean. It will be approximate. And that's always the case for grouped data mean. So how am I going to do this approximation for getting the average or the mean of this data here, which is a full capacity? I will assume as an approximation that the 3 values here in this class, all of them are the midpoint, which is 11. So I assume I have 3 values that are 11. I have 4 values that are 14, 6 values that are 17, and so on. So let us write the midpoints. Let's have a look at the midpoints here. So maybe I'll just write the midpoint for every class. Oops. Sorry. So the midpoint for the first class is 11. For the second class is, I simply add them and divide by 2, I just get their average. So that's 14. That's 14, okay. And then I have 17, and then I have 20, and then I have 23. See, you just keep adding 3 because the class width here is 3. So anyway, I got just now the midpoint. So you imagine, in fact, that you have 3 values, all of them are 11. So when you get the average, you just need to add them. So you need 11 plus 11 plus 11. And then we add them to the other values, which is 4 values, 14. So that would be 14 plus 14 plus 14 plus 14. I have 4 values of 14. So that's actually multiplying the frequency by the midpoint. If you want to add all these values here and add all the values here and add them all to the values here. So I just need to calculate MF, if this is the idea. And then that would be 3 times 11, which is 33, and so on. I need to do the same thing for every class. Okay, if I want to add the values, and at the end I'll get here the sum, which is sigma MF, okay, whatever it is. So this will be here 56, right, and this will be 102. You can correct me if I'm wrong. This will be 100, and this will be 46. Okay, so when you add them all, it will be 337. And that's it, we added the values approximately. So this way, the mean in this case, which is a sample mean, is sigma MF in this case, because I don't have the original data, so I just multiply the midpoint of every class by its frequency, and then I get the sum at the end. After that, I divide by the data size n, which is actually sigma f. So you can say that n actually, or you can say sigma f, okay, which is 20. Okay, so I have here 337, okay, divided by 20, which will give me 16.9. In fact, it's 16.85, but I rounded, approximately. Let's say this is approximately to 16.9 because I have the original data. Assume the original data to be decimal, to be integers. So that's the. This is now what? This is now the group data mean. This is the group data mean. Let's write that as grouped data mean. Of course, here I have sample data again because the word randomly selected, so that's a sample mean, but the formula will be the same for population data mean as well. So that's a formula for group data mean, very simple. You just get the sum of the midpoint after being multiplied by the frequency. So in fact, we multiply the midpoint first by the frequency of every class, and at the end I get the sum. But there's no need for this bracket. I'm not going to write the bracket in the formula sheet. You should be aware, sigma mf, this is actually what it means. Okay, so I'm just writing this in red to explain to you, but I will not write it in the formula sheet.